Welcome, beloveds. Welcome back to my channel. In today's session, we are going to talk about forgiving yourself. I hope you are with me in doing the work on forgiveness. So, if you have not watched my first two videos, please go and check it and then come back here. So, this is the third video, and today's session is about forgiving the most important, the most valuable person, God's beloved, your own self. So, I'm going to talk about the importance of forgiving yourself. Let's see how much we can cover. Um, you know what, when something goes wrong with our lives in terms of bad unexpected experiences, and we meet some jerks and ungrateful people, and yeah, I completely understand. I myself has also been through some experiences, and I had my own forgiveness, my own healing work to do. And as a psychologist, if I speak as a professional, then I have heard, like that's my job. I hear a lot of stories of people, and then I do feel empathy for my clients, and there are times when we have cried together, I and my clients. So, yes, there are hurts and disappointments in our life, in human life. But I guess that's why we are here. I mean, what else for we are here? Maybe to overcome and be more wise, be more compassionate, be more humble, and really, really intelligent. And intelligent is one who is using his intelligence for his own benefit, and the intelligence is not running against the person, right? So, uh, see, forgiving yourself means that first you identify your own role, identify your own participation in what has happened, and correcting your own role, maybe apologizing for that, depends on the context, but it is a cleansing process that you have to go through in the process of forgiveness, because in that unforgiveness or in the face of that negative experience, one may be down with guilt, like how why this has happened. I was all good, and how could this happen, and this has polluted me, and I tell you, it is you know I really really can tell you, I myself has also experienced this, that at one point of time maybe you will be able to forgive another person, but when it comes to us, when it comes to our own self, it gets difficult, it gets really really difficult. मतलब हम दूसरों के साथ कुछ हद तक चलो मजाक में भी अच्छा हो सकते हैं, या चलो वो सब छोड़ो, वी कैन एक्चुअली फॉरगिव अदर पीपल, बट व्हेन इट कम्स टू अस we may become really really harsh. And from a psychologist perspective, I'm saying this because there are a lot of this unconscious rules and assumptions that are going on, which you may not be able to understand because that's not in your awareness, it's unconscious. So consciously, actively participating in the process of forgiveness of yourself is really really important. The hurt is all yours, but to the extent you choose to. Once you identify your own role and you take accountability of your own role, of your own participation, you kind of detach yourself from that unforgiveness, from that negative experience, event, or the person. And the most important thing is that you will stop suffering, because you will stop ruminating. Now what is rumination? जब हम एक चीज़ हमारे दिमाग में बार बार आती रहती है, वही that same old tape recorder जो एक ही गाना बजाता है and एक ही म्यूज़िक बजाता है, that is rumination. So that will stop happening. And also in the process, it is important to understand, like, okay, when this event happened, our brain has a capacity, our brain has a capacity to make stories, to make sense to us that what has happened, because that's how we perceive the world, that's how we understand the happenings of the world, and that's how we participate in the world. So when something very traumatic or negative happens, our brain, and in the brain there is the primitive brain, the limbic area of our brain, where amygdala, hippocampus, these two important brain areas evolve, which has to do with our primitive brain, meaning which has to do with amygdala has to do with activating fear response, so it is fight, flight or freeze, and hippocampus role is in learning and memory. So both of it is creating an emotional response and is associated with the memories, with the experiences. So originally when the event happened, what meaning you gave to that event, about that there is a story, there is a narrative in your brain, in your system. By identifying the story, you can slowly uncover your own beliefs, the actual patterns. So what you can do is that what story, what narrative you are telling about that entire event that is making forgiveness difficult for you. Write that story down. Now the idea is this, you can decide, but first you can start writing about that story. Now pick up something which is very difficult for you to forgive, and this is a very important exercise, so please share your experience in the comment. But before that, please do this exercise and do it carefully, okay, and mindfully. So here is the thing, pick up that triggering event and write down the story, whatever meaning you have given to that event, circumstance or the person, that entire episode. You may write 3, 4 or 5 pages in the beginning, okay. Then so suppose you have written 5 pages in the first session, that story. In the second session, you will write the same story in 2 pages now, okay. So cutting short your understanding, your interpretation. Then in the third session, you will write the story on only 1 page, so it's a 1-page story. In the fourth session, maybe you can make it a paragraph, so let's say half of the page. And then in the final session, you will write about that experience only in 1 line, okay. So and see, this is something, of course this is not a counseling session, but I hope that you are understanding the importance of it and how it is going to help you, and the task that is required out of you, or whatever it is demanding. So you do this work and see, and that's how you will identify the narrative. And when you come to from 5 pages to 2 pages to half of the page and then just 1 or 2 line, you will understand the healing part there. Then you will come to what has happened, the reality, the isness, and then there will be no meaning, no perspectives, no personal interpretations, no more unconscious stories or narratives, and you just see the fact, not the story. So the exercise will help you to focus on the fact and not the narratives, because narratives are coming from your own mind, correct? So fact is a fact. I am recording this video, it is a fact. Now whatever meaning you get out of it, whatever your own opinions and views and whatever it is there, the fact is that I am speaking on the topic of forgiveness. That's the fact. Now whatever your own understanding comes, whatever memories and experiences gets triggered in the process, that's your job, dearies. That's your story, which has nothing to do with me. So when you separate the facts from the story, then you are focusing on the reality, then you are focusing on the easiness, that this is what has happened, this is what it was, this is what it is, and from now on this is what I would like it to be as. So then you become the writer, the author of your own book, of your own story, and so you can choose it the way you want it. And remember, all your moods are created by your own thoughts, including what you are thinking at this very moment. So you can choose to redefine your story in a way that is helpful for you. Forgiveness is a virtue. Forgiveness is very, very important. And today's session focused on forgiving yourself. So forgive yourself, dear. There is nothing, or there was nothing that you could do to prevent what has already occurred. You know, human beings love controlling, manipulating. Human beings love predictability. And if there is no predictability, there comes worry, there comes anxiety and other issues, other mental issues. But there are certain things which you might predict in your life, yes, in terms of what you want to do and career and finances and few other stuffs. But there are other things which happens which may not be in your control. So predicting that, oh, I wish I could have just foreseen that, or I wish I'm so stupid, I'm so silly that I just couldn't understand even this much. I mean, if I could have just known it, मतलब मुझे पहले से अगर पता होता तो मैं कभी ऐसा नहीं होता. तो इट इज़ माई फॉल्ट कि मुझे नहीं पता था, या मैंने नहीं ध्यान दिया, या मैंने कैसे नहीं समझा कि ऐसा है या ऐसा नहीं है, एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट. अगेन, ऑल नेगेटिव थॉट्स, ऑल नैरेटिव्स. अगर आप प्रेडिक्ट कर ही पाते तो शायद आप वो चीज़ नहीं करते. बट अगर आप प्रेडिक्ट नहीं कर पाए, मीनिंग द फैक्ट देर आर फैक्टर्स विच आर बियॉन्ड योर कंट्रोल. ये भी एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, ये भी एक एक्सेप्टेंस है जो लानी है. तो देर आर फैक्टर्स विच आर बियॉन्ड योर कंट्रोल, then you cannot do anything about it. But yes, by learning the lesson, by understanding it now, make sure that you don't repeat it in the future, because then it is a choice, it's not a mistake. Anything that you repeated, it's not a mistake, then it is a choice. So that is something you can take care. Okay, so I have given you the homework. Write down, pick up a very sensitive event if you are comfortable with it, and of course you can start with something small which is comfortable for you, and see the narrative and see the story, cut it short, and then come to one line. And that's the healing part, that's the new thing that you have to focus on. God bless you.